Oh. Hey, what's going on, Amps? My name is Zeke Griffin. I'm the Norfolk Campus Student Director. And as always, if no one has told you, God loves you, we love you, and you belong here. Yes, as you saw, I was watching YouTube. And I'm not even a big YouTube guy, but there are certain things out there that are just hilarious to me. And I actually want to share one of those things with you. This is Trey Kennedy and John Chris, two comedians that I keep up with on Instagram that made Bible characters have iPhones. So I hope you enjoy this as much as I have been.
Oh my goodness, Lot's daughter's pregnant. She's gonna have a baby. I wonder who the dad is.
All right, I'm about to call Postmates. Does everyone want the fish dinner then? I'll just call a bunch of them.
Jesus is on the way, so maybe just get a couple. He'll take care of it.
Okay, yeah, all right, just get
two then? Two.
All right, yeah, just two. We'll just do two fish, yeah.
Yeah, maybe like 5 loaves of bread with it?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, perfect. Bro, I just got a Venmo request from Judas. Dude, Jesus just got a blue check mark. How did he get verified? He only has 12 followers.
I have way more than that. Dude, David is liking and commenting on every one of Bathsheba's spring break pics.
What's he doing? I thought he was supposed to be at war.
I don't know, dude.
Also, what?
Yeah, what?
Okay, we can't do that. Dude, I'm on Facebook Marketplace right now. Look at this. Joseph's brothers are selling him.
Can you do that? Oh, Job, he's just going on and on. He said he lost everything.
Probably gonna get a Kickstarter up soon. Bro, I was talking to Mary and Joseph last week. They were trying to price line a hotel in Bethlehem. Couldn't find anything. They ended up having to like Airbnb some like rustic barn, dude. Brutal.
If Noah Instagrams one more time about his DIY project, I'm done.
It's too much. Like he's like, I'm getting these instructions from heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Doubt it.
I ain't getting on that boat. Oh, look, another bachelorette in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Seen it.
Sin City, we get it.
Don't look behind you. You know what I'm saying? Because the...
What?
Okay, forget it.
Dude, are you friends with the prodigal son on Snapchat?
Have you seen his stories? He just like left his dad's house. He's in like another city just losing it, dude.
Insane.
Like not safe for work.
Okay, dude, have you heard from Paul in a while?
Maybe he's in prison again?
Again?
Dude, you want a bite of this?
Do I look like Adam to you?
Okay. Bro, do you follow the rich young ruler?
Hey, is that SoundCloud rapper?
No, it's a guy he's always posting about his house and his cars and stuff. He met Jesus last week. Literally haven't heard from him.
It's weird.
Dude, Jesus came to town on a donkey.
I saw that. Could he not get an Uber?
I mean, maybe he was surging. Dude, are you in this group chat with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? I used this fire emoji. They got all offended.
Okay, Jonah tweeted he was going deep sea fishing 3 days ago. Have you heard from him?
Maybe he doesn't have service?
Do you follow Saul?
Yeah, what?
He changed his username to Paul.
What? Bro, do you have locations on for the children of Israel? They're just like wandering around. Literally makes no sense.
Have you seen the weather for today?
No, what?
50% chance of quail.
Weird.
Wow. Abram and Isaac posted a selfie that headed the mountains for a little father-son trip.
Amazing. What could go wrong? Wait, what's that rope for?
Oh my goodness, Lot's daughter's pregnant. She's gonna have a baby. I wonder who the dad is.
Too far. Bro, you're following the woman at the well?
It's not like that.
Check your heart, dude.
Mic check.
I should say something. Dude, why are you wearing the same outfit as me? Bro, do you have to be wearing the same outfit as me? I told you I was wearing this first.
I got this at Urban Outfitters. Dude, did you hear about Job? He said he just like lost everything.
Dude, give it 3 days. I'll expect a Kickstarter.
Why did Saul change his username to Paul? Jonah tweeted he was going deep sea fishing 3 days ago. Have you heard from him?
There's probably no Wi-Fi out there. Wait, didn't he build a fire in that whale or something like that, or is that made up?
I think you're thinking of Pinocchio.
That's Pinocchio, yeah.
Wow.
Lot's daughter's pregnant. I wonder who the dad is.
Wait, what's that joke?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, Lot's daughter's pregnant. Wonder who the dad is.
Dude, I was with David the other day, and he was singing one of those songs. You know how he always does? I couldn't figure. I was like, I know I've heard this one before, so I Shazammed it. Psalm 23.
Yeah.
He always does that. Whenever there's girls around, he brings out a guitar. We get it.
Was Bathsheba there?
Okay, wow, dude.
Those guys are hilarious to me. If you're not following them on Instagram, make sure you do that. They will keep you laughing for sure. But we're getting ready to transition into our lesson. This week, we're closing out our series, Worth Repeating. So, if you haven't already watched the other ones, go ahead. You can pause real quick right here and watch all 3 of those and catch back up. But this is week 4 of Worth Repeating. Hope you enjoy it.
Did you know that the average family spends 49 minutes every single day arguing? That's almost a whole hour. Could you imagine that? I mean, some of you are probably thinking like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. But then there's others of you that are like, only an hour? It feels like more like 3 at my house. And that's just your family. If we were to add the time you might spend arguing with your friends, your teammates, your coaches, your teachers, your siblings, well, let's just say there might not be enough hours left in most of our days after that. Arguments, fights, disagreements, misunderstandings, dramas, whatever you call them, they happen. Sometimes they're big and sometimes they're small. Sometimes you make up and sometimes you don't. The reason for the fight or the outcome after the disagreement may be different every single time. And I think there's one thing that most arguments have in common. Behind just about every disagreement you'll have in your life is this thought: I know better than you. Ugh, that's tough to admit, isn't it? I don't think many of us would say, yeah, I definitely know better or am better than the last person I fought with. But deep down, we know we've thought it. At least I have. I know I look really young. I'm actually pretty old, 20 years older maybe than most of you guys. But I've been married for 10 years to my husband. I've got 2 kids, but when my husband and I first got married, we fought a lot about cleaning. The reason we fought all the time was because I thought that I knew how to clean better, and my husband thought that he had the right way or the best way of cleaning things and getting things done. But we figured it out, and it works great now. 10 years of marriage, still going strong. At the end of the day, we both thought we knew how to clean better than the other person. I know we've been talking about cleaning and whatever, but whether we realize it or not, I think most of the drama, disagreements, or arguments and fallouts in our relationships with others are influenced by the fact that we think that we're better. We think we're right and they're wrong. We know and they don't. We're smart and they're not. I know how to clean and you don't. We may never say this out loud, but we certainly think it. And eventually, those thoughts motivate our actions. They change the way we not only see ourselves, but also the people around us. We believe we know better, or do better, or are better. And eventually, we start to act as though we deserve better. Maybe you think you're the best player on your team, so you deserve to be captain. But when the other kid is named captain instead of you, you argue with your coach because you think you're better. Or maybe you think you're the best musician in your school band or orchestra, and you deserve to be first chair. When someone else is given that spot, well, that's when you get mad. Maybe you think you're a better friend than another girl in your friend group, so you deserve more of your friend's attention. When they don't give you the attention you hoped for, well, then that's when the drama begins. None of this sounds super great, does it? And even if we're actually better at something or know better than someone else, thinking about it can affect how we perceive ourselves and others. I don't know about you, but it's hard for me to admit the way I think about myself compared to other people sometimes. It's hard for me to acknowledge that the reason some of my relationships have conflict is because of me. It's because of the way I see myself as better than another person in the equation. But I think it's an important truth for all of us to realize about ourselves. Because anytime we feel like we're better than someone, it reveals an issue with our character. It shows us something about the way we see ourselves and others that isn't quite right. And I don't know about you, but that's something that I want to change. Today we're looking at one of my favorite stories that Jesus shared with his followers while he was on earth. These stories he told are called parables, and they've been worth repeating for thousands of years. Jesus used those stories like mirrors to hold up in front of his audience to show them something new about themselves and the way they were living. The parable we're going to look at today was written down by a follower of Jesus named Luke. When Jesus shared this particular parable, he was at a dinner party held by a really respected man in the community. And before they started eating, the guests carefully chose where they were going to sit. Here's what's important to know about that. In the culture at this time, choosing a seat at the table was a really big deal. The closer you sat to the host at the party, the more status you had. So if these people got a seat next to this really respected man that was throwing this party, it showed everyone else that they were better, cooler, and much more important than the other guests. Their seat determined their status. Now, knowing this to be true in their culture, Jesus wanted to explain that he valued something different. So, he shared this parable with the dinner guests around the table. When someone invites you to a wedding feast, do not take the place of honor, for a person more distinguished than you may have been invited. If so, the host who invited both of you will come and say to you, "Give this person your seat." Then, humiliated, you will have to take the least important place. But when you are invited, take the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he will say to you, "Friend, move up to a better place." Then you will be honored in the presence of all the other guests. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Okay, let's break down what Jesus was saying here. Imagine you've been invited to the biggest, coolest, awesomest party ever hosted by, Noah Centineo. I would definitely want to be at that party, but you've got two options. You can either sit right next to the host, or you can choose to sit farthest away from the host at the end of the table. Now, if you choose the best seat, you're basically telling to everyone at the party that you deserve that spot because I'm the best person in the whole wide world. But if you sit in this spot, you might run the risk of being embarrassed because the host might ask you to move because someone who is more deserving of this spot might be present at this party. But if you decide to choose at the end of the table, farthest away from the host, you'll eventually be honored by the host and the guests and everyone else around you because you've shown humility. Humility means that you put others before yourself, that you're thinking of other people before you're thinking of yourself. A humble attitude will motivate humble actions. Having humility in your heart will change the way how you treat and react to other people. Why was Jesus teaching about humility? Because it's the way his kingdom works. Jesus himself showed us that. When he came to earth, he was perfect. He literally was the best. But did he walk around proclaiming that to everyone? Did he take the top spot everywhere he went? No. Jesus spent his time serving others, loving others, and treating others as though they were better than him. In many ways, it was like he chose to sit at the other end of the table. And that's what he calls us to do in our lives. Even if we are in fact right or we do know best, we should follow Jesus' example and show humility. Humility helps us see the value in other people. It helps remind our hearts that the person we're serving is loved by God and important to him. It helps us see people like God sees them. Humility helps us live like the citizens of God's kingdom that we are. Putting others first changes us and our relationships for the better. Now, if you're anything like me, your tendency would probably be to do what the people at the dinner party did. Move yourself to the head of the table. It's easier to see ourselves as better. It's easier to think we're right or deserving or owed something from someone else. It's in our nature to tend to see ourselves as better than others from time to time. But like we said before, that usually only ends in conflict. So what if we chose humility instead? What if instead of, thinking we deserve the top spot on the team, we congratulated the person who got it over us? What if instead of believing that we are the most important friend in our friend group, that we went out of our way to make sure everyone felt included and valued? What if instead of ignoring that new kid at school, we went out of our way to say hello? What if instead of waiting for our parents to tell us to do our chores, we finished them ahead of time? I, for one, think there would be a lot less drama and conflict in our lives if we did. That's what humility looks like in action. Putting others first changes us and our relationships for the better. This week, I want you to think of just one way you can practice humility. Maybe it's choosing to apologize first. Maybe it's celebrating someone who gets something great in their lives. Maybe something you wanted or thought you deserved. Maybe it's admitting you're wrong in a fight or giving the other person the chance to explain themselves before jumping to conclusions. Maybe it's simply inviting someone into your group or going out of your way to do something kind. Whatever it is, find one way to put someone ahead of yourself this week. Then watch how it makes your relationship and your heart better. You got this.
such a good word. Putting others first changes us and our relationships for the better. And we're getting ready to talk about that even further in our small group times. And if you haven't signed up for a small group yet, go ahead and do that. Online, you can sign up for one. On our Kids and Students tab, click it, and then click on the one that says Amped Small Groups. You click it, it'll get you signed up and plugged into a small group as soon as we can. So, small group times. Let's make it happen. As always, it's been fun hanging with you all, and sad to see you go, but hey, this is not the end. We will see you again next week. I'm about to get back to these YouTube videos. I'm just chilling today.
Bro, you're following the woman at the well? That's not like that.
Get out of here.